Welcome to our regular board meeting, June 16th, 2026. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ted Del Duca.
Here.
Mark Mariak.
Here.
Luis Contreras. CJ Renaud. Trace Walker.
Here.
Lisa Silver.
Here. Did you guys hear that? Here.
Yes.
Is that everybody?
Quorum's established.
Quorum is established.
Great. I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get into this, we're going to read our mission and vision statement. Our mission is to develop productive members of society. Our vision is helping all students achieve their full potential in a caring, supportive, and personalized environment. Before you have tonight's agenda. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda as presented before you?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Great, thank you.
Second.
Call for that vote.
Lisa Silver.
Aye.
Trace Walker.
Yay.
Mark Mariak.
Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye. Yay. Great. We don't have any good news today, but I'm sure we have lots of great news, but we aren't presenting good news.
Yes, but our principals are all off on their amazing summer break, so no good news from the regions today.
Nobody volunteered to come back.
Yeah.
Good for them. No strategic plan update because they're all gone. No board training. Then we have our officers report. Our chief academic officer, the second best fly fisherman in the room.
Rita is pretty good.
What do you got for us, Jason, this evening?
All right, thanks. That got to me in a hurry today. So excited today to share the most of our end results from the whole year. Outside of a few little things we're waiting in, we have most of our year-end data. So we'll kind of go through this in chunks. As we go through, I'd like to kind of highlight some things on each of these, a thing that we're proud of, and also explain some of the focus we're going to have moving forward next year to improve some of this. So in our first section, our student engagement section, as you can see, across the board, did pretty well. Our attendance really cleaned up. Our proud would be our attendance rate. We're really getting on point with keeping track of those kids. Our processes are in place, and we were able to reach up to a 98% last year, which moved our truancy rate to 2%. Which, as you see, is our best year we've had on that before. Just a testament to the work our staff are doing communicating with kids.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
She's texting me. Sorry, guys. She texted me, but it's going straight to her voicemail.
Unknown participant is now exiting.
Sorry, Jason.
No problem at all. Internal retention's been staying about the same. Our focus, though, is this returning students. So these are the students who finish the year with us and whether they come back next year or not. We took a dip last year, still higher than we have in the past, but a little bit lower. So one of our focuses over this year is really going to be looking at that list and keeping track of it to make sure that we are getting back as many students as possible. We don't want to lose them, of course, over the summer because generally they end up being dropouts when we do. Moving on to the next section here, our passer rate section. We're here looking at the passer rate by quarter and semester. As you can see, still growing fairly consistently. If you'll notice, the semester one, semester two are a little odd. We change up sometimes how we rate some classes, as whether they're semester or not, and that changes that rate. So that one doesn't really matter, and frankly, that's not most of our classes. The vast majority end up in our quarters. Outside of just the overall growth, the quarter we're proud of is our quarter one. You can see from in the last 2 years, we grew about 12%, just under 12% over 2 years. That's our beginning of the year processes, our systems to get things online quickly have been improving a lot, and I think we're pretty successful with getting kids started at the beginning. Our focus next year is going to be quarter four. kids tend to fade out. We are growing, but growing at obviously you can see a slower rate than we have in other quarters. So finishing Q4 strong, getting as many graduates across the line as possible will be our key focus in this area moving forward next year. Moving down concurrent enrollment passer rate, of course, college is something we push a lot. After a dip in 24-25, we're back up to now our second best year. We still had a crazy number back in 2021, but still this will be our second highest number of concurrent enrollment students that we have. And our passer rate staying right there where it needs to be.
Was that the COVID year?
That would have been post-COVID year. I have no idea how we got that year. I'll be honest. I don't remember, but it was pretty impressive.
Is now exiting. Unknown participant is now joining.
So we'll continue to work on, as our proud is the pass rate. We're still keeping that up in 92% which is for college rates, and high school students is really phenomenal. We do a really good job of making sure that kids are ready before we send and supporting them when they get there. So that they're not there on their own. Our focus here will just be to continue to grow it. If the program's working, it's going good, we'd like to reach more kids. Go on to the next section there, our work keys certificates. Here, our rate continues to be solid. Almost all the kids that graduate with us will earn that work key certificate. So we're really proud of those rates, the ones that earn it, and how well they do when they take the test. One of the key focuses next year is around that silver rate. That's sort of the rate for both a senior recovery and just really being prepared. We're working on some curriculum to prepare based on the material that earns the silver and improving some of our courses to better support kids to reach that level. So increasing that rate of silver and getting those bronzes up to silver is going to be our focus for next year. The next section there really don't have a lot to report there. A lot of that is stuff that will come in next year. Our completion rate and our SAT rates we don't quite have those, and our dropout rate's not really going to final until after we start next year and see how many we do return and don't return. So don't have a lot to report on that one that we haven't already. And last but not least, for sure not least, is our graduation data. As you know, it's our biggest graduating class to date. We had 1772 official with another 120 potential here due to our summer school, which is up to 1,892 potential grads. Quite a big number. 1,735 of those have been funded and 37 are over 21. Some additionals on the right. One thing we're really proud of this year was 19 earned associate's degrees. Really high number, and I believe our highest number that we've earned there. So 19 associate's degrees was a major success. Our Earn Tech and Career and Tech certificates remains to be one of our focuses there. We're more and more partnerships with different groups that can help our graduates earn those. So we do hope to continue to grow those earned certificates. And that is kind of the summary of a year. A very successful year, continuing to grow, not by leaps and bounds, but incrementally, securely, but pretty consistently across the board. So that's what I have, unless anybody has any questions about any of the information there on the report.
Not here.
I just wanted to say I really liked the, sorry, Ted. I just want to say I really like the new layout and format. I think you for all the detail. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Jason, thank you so much. Good job.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next up, our Chief Finance Officer.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. Tonight we have the May financials, which includes the statement of change in fund balance and the balance sheet. For May, our bottom line was that we had a positive addition to our net change in fund balance of just shy of 1.3 million, bringing our year-to-date change in fund balance up to 4.6 million. That being said, we do have a substantial amount of payments going out in June, where we are projecting an almost $5 million decrease in our net change in fund balance, which will essentially wipe out our positive fund balance for the year. But jumping back to May, nothing really stand out to report here. Our revenue is in line with where it's trended for the remainder of the year. Same thing with salaries. We do have 15% budget remaining in salaries. But again, in June, we will be paying out. It is June, so really in a couple days, we will be gearing up to do our June payroll, which includes the staff bonus as decided in the May board meeting. Moving on down through the rest of the statements, we do have positive variances in our remaining categories, purchase property services, other purchase services, consistent with the reports throughout the rest of the year. We will see a lot more spending in June as we wrap up things like graduation and some of our supply categories that are driven by our student activities. We'll see some significant variance here in June towards the end of the year. And last but not least, in the property category on the third page, our 700 category, we're down to a 25% budget remaining. And as we've talked about, these are these capital projects landing. We've got a ton of leasehold improvements going on across the state, carpet being replaced, things like that our sites need. We have a couple vehicles landing tomorrow, these will be big variances between May and June as we wrap up the year. Moving on to the balance sheet, the only thing I really wanted to highlight is we do have some accounts receivable still outstanding in May that we will see wrap up in June. And some scholarship donations, we will start to see that line shrink a little bit as the students that have been awarded a scholarship collect those funds from us. Again, our current year net change at the very bottom is sitting at 4.6, but we will see a large change here between May and what we report out in June. Any questions on our May position?
Not hearing any.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Info Officer. Jamie?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. So quick building update tonight on kind of where we're standing with things. We're more or less full operations now here in Building 1. Everything is more or less where it needs to be. We have housed our technology team in this building throughout different areas here as we continue to work toward Building 2 opening up. Furniture arrived this week in Building 2 and was put together by our partners at Source. So furniture has arrived and the move continues to go well over in Building 2. With a huge assist to Dustin and Amber, we were able to complete an easement release legal document that we needed to do for the city of Pueblo to begin breaking ground on the walkway between the two buildings. We do expect a building permit on that later this week. More likely, just kind of based on the backlog the city is dealing with right now, probably will occur early next week. Either way, though, that does get us moving on that. If you walk around the building now, which I realize those of you in virtual land aren't able to do, but if you are able to check out the building, you'll see the landscaping that is going on now full force around the complex, boulders in front, AstroTurf in back, new rock, so on and so forth all over the place. And the goal is to have our technology team into their building in Building 2 when we return July 6th. So moving and grooving, continuing to go on, and the light at the end of the tunnel has never been brighter to get these buildings complete and everybody into them. And I am very much looking forward to that day, Mr. President.
Great.
That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Any questions? Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it. Next up, our Chief Executive Officer, Jill.
Yes, good evening, Mr. President and members of the board. Just a few updates for me today. Just a friendly reminder on Goal Forum. I do have Mark, Ted, CJ, and Louise planning to attend Forum, and Heather is working on your travel plans. So she did give me a reminder today to let me know that she will be sending out those travel plans when she does return from summer break on July 6th. So please be on the lookout for that in your inbox, which will have your like hotel accommodations and things of that nature in that email. And then of course, we will go ahead and post Forum as a board work session, since we will have 4 board members present. That would be a quorum. So we will go ahead and make sure that we get that publicly posted as a work session for the board. So that's really what Forum is for all of us, is a big giant work session for goal. So it works out perfect that we will all be in attendance. And then I just wanted to say a few amazing words on our graduation season. Jason, thank you for reporting all the numbers. We definitely had a successful graduation season, and we know going into summer school, we'll have a few more grads to get us to that close to 1,900 grads for this school year, which is awesome. I was able to attend 4 ceremonies this year across the state. All 12 ceremonies took place in 2 days. I'm hoping for the graduating class of 27 that does not happen, so I can attend more. But the 4 that I was at were very beautiful, and it is always so rewarding to get to see all of the families and students at those ceremonies. So just a really great end of the 25-26 school year. Data is the best it's ever been. 19 kids with associate's degrees and close to 1,900 graduates. So I think the data speaks for itself and the amazing work that all of our staff are doing across the state. And that's all I have, Mr. President, unless anyone has any specific questions for me.
Not hearing any.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. No board member reports. Does anybody have anything? Not hearing any. Consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I need a motion to approve that. And that was April financials. And board minutes from May.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Call for that vote.
Lisa Silver,
Aye.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
Mark Mariak,
Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next up, we have an action item. And this will be, we need to do an approval of a resolution of a budget transfer. Bree, do you want to give them a quick update on that?
I would love to. Thank you. So we have resolution 26-06-16-B. This is to transfer some funds that we will have in excess due to a couple different reasons. What we are trying to accomplish here in these last couple weeks of the school year is to replace 2 3-node clusters. Thank you, that have failed. Please feel free to direct all technical questions to Jamie. And purchase some additional student computer inventory that are in stock and available for us to receive immediately. We do have some excess funds in the salary expense line, as well as the health insurance line and the vehicle line. We just recently moved that money last month into the vehicle line, and we learned due to some changes at the state level, we can no longer purchase the vehicles that we thought we could purchase, that they can't be more than 12 passenger vans, which freed up some additional funds for some vehicles that we were intending to replace. With all that being said, I am requesting to move from those 3 lines into the technology purchases line to facilitate the purchase of the student computers and the nodes and clusters that will support our infrastructure that is very critical to our data retention.
Okay, it's before you there. It was discussed at the finance meeting yesterday, and I was brought up to date on it earlier today. Looks good to me. Can I have a motion to approve that resolution?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Yeah.
Thank you. Call for that vote.
Yep, Lisa Silver,
Aye.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
Mark Mariak,
Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next, we've got some informational updates to be probably voted on in the future, next meeting maybe.
The staff handbook, yes. The student handbook and the item C, the board calendar, do not have to be voted on.
Okay. So do you want to give us a quick overview of the changes to the student handbook?
Yeah, that'll be me here.
Oh, really?
So yeah, the student handbook, very
give us
few
the highlights.
changes. What?
Just the highlights.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, I can read the whole thing, the whole book if you want.
No.
Okay, all right. Just really 4 small changes. We're removing some wording in our, in the first section that just refers to some things that weren't changing till days that have already passed. So that's not even important. We are adding some wording on graduation ceremony because we do allow kids that are half a credit away and in summer school to walk. So we're just putting that information there so it's formalized. The third thing is a safety and security. We do safety plans with kids, some kids that come in with concerns. So we just want to put in wording so people are aware of how we handle those situations. You can see that there if you'd want to read it more in depth. And finally, we just added prescription drugs and natural supplements to the area of our essentially substance abuse section. So I can happy to go more into depth in any of those, but that's the summary.
Summary's good for me. Any questions? Not hearing any. Great. This will be the first reading of the the staff handbook.
Yep, so first reading of the staff handbook.
And these are just the changes.
I'm going to go through just the changes, but CJ's asking me to try to call her in again, so I'm going to do that really quick.
Lost her again?
We haven't been able to get her on. It has been going straight to her voicemail. So give me 1 minute. Not sure why it's doing that. Let's give her one more try.
Your call has been 970
Unknown participant has now joined it.
5.
Something with her phone?
Unknown participant is now exiting.
So, okay, well, we will move forward with the update. So the staff handbook, this is the first reading. The board will need to vote on the handbook. So that will come up for vote in the next meeting, which will be August 4th. There is quite a few additions to the staff handbook for the 26-27 school year, and then some little changes to already existing statements and policies in the handbook.
Who's all involved in the process of these changes?
So in the process of the changes, it begins with human resources. Then Ron does allow the cabinet to review the handbook and give him any input on anything that staff, cabinet leaders, which is all of our directors and principals, have maybe come across and they felt like there needed to be maybe something added to the handbook or stronger wording in the handbook based on things that have happened in previous history. After Ron and the staff take that first stab at it, then the requested additions or changes are then sent to Ms. Amber DeCarly, who also then reviews the handbook and reviews those requested additions and changes. And then from there, that is how we get to this first reading. I will say
Unknown participant is now exiting.
I'm not sure who that was. So I will say between now and between now and the final vote on the staff handbook, any questions that the board has on any of this information I'm providing today, please feel free to reach out and ask those questions. And there also could be some additional additions even when we come back in August, as I know that Ron and Amber are still working diligently to make sure that they feel like the handbook is going to meet the needs of the school before it goes up for approval. So right now, this is the majority of the changes, but I can't promise that there might not be one or two additional things even come August as we continue to move through this. So I'm not going to read all of this to you. I know you guys want me to, because it's like only 14 pages, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to remind everyone of kind of the big highlights. So the first few pages, the things highlighted in yellow, those are the big new addition sections. So these are sections that don't currently exist in the staff handbook that are being recommended to add. The first one is around staff supervision and student interaction policy. The second is around living in Colorado and working at goal. The third is around meal breaks and the expectations around those. The fourth one is medication and supplemental administration and distribution policy. There's an addition around property damage. There is a policy around PTO and restricted dates of PTO. Temporary work schedule adjustment, which is one that I know HR works on commonly. The use of walking pads while working during the working day and the expectations around those and what that looks like. Video surveillance and security camera policy, so staff have more information around the cameras in our sites. Working out of state and what the limitations are for staff to work out of state. So those are all the new additions that will be added to the staff handbook. So I would encourage you all to please feel free to read through those. And if you have any questions, let me know. And then we do have some revisions. So these are currently already policies and practices in the staff handbook that has come to our attention, need some redefining in their language. So there will be some revisions made around ADA accommodations, revisions made to the bereavement leave and to jury duty. There will be some revisions made to a paid time off and the drug-free workplace policy within the handbook. Mandatory training from staff, some revisions made to the wording within that. Revisions within payroll to provide a better definition around payroll. Personal appearance, some wordings in that. Reporting procedures, romantic relationships at work, employment categories, portable communication devices while driving, school employee and student interactions, and last but not least, unpaid time off. So those are just all getting some stronger wording or clarity in wording based on some feedback we've gotten from supervisors and even staff asking for clarity in some of those policies. So as those things come up during the school year, we make note of them and know that we have the opportunity to revise those when we need to at the beginning of the next year. So a lot of changes to the staff handbook. Please feel free over the next month to look over those, reach out to me if you have any questions, and I look forward to coming back at our next board meeting with a completed draft. And like I said, I can't promise there might not be one or two adds as we go into the next board meeting. And that's all I have, Mr. President. I welcome any questions that you or the board may have for me.
Not hearing any. Yeah, I know that's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a monster. But you got to just keep it's sentence at a time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sentence and word at a time.
Yep, absolutely.
Death by words. Okay, great. Thanks everybody for working on that so hard. Next up, we got the yearly Board of Directors meeting calendar. And if you'll note, in August, we're going to meet twice because we're not going to meet in July because that conflicts with our forum.
That is correct, sir.
So we'll do that. We'll double up in August. We'll basically do July's meeting August 4th and then our regular stuff. But everything's listed there. Block those out. Hopefully you'll be able to attend, everybody. Public comment. We got anybody signed up for public comment?
No, sir.
We do not.
Okay, great. Next board meeting will be that August 4th meeting. 4:30 here at the new 27 Montebello Road facility, and also on goalac.org. Great. Next up, we've got executive session, and we'll need a motion to go into executive session. And to whom do we need to invite to that session?
Yes, so Ms. Amber DeCarly, legal counsel, and then myself for about half of the executive session tonight.
Okay? And me.
Of course.
The board. I'm just
Of course, the board.
Just kidding. So can I get a motion that we can roll into executive session?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Okay, and we'll just keep this show rolling.
Gonna vote that. Lisa Silver,
Aye.
I'm sorry.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
Mark Mariak,
Aye.
Ted Del Duca.
Aye. Sorry about that.
Drace, you have the link for executive session. I don't need to call you in now that you're on your computer, it looks like.
Yep.
Alrighty, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Lisa, do you need me to send it to your Microsoft account?
No, I am home now, so I've got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And then Mark, you see it also, so you'll be good to join in the other link?
I'm good.
Okay, sounds great. Well, Ted and I will leave this room and walk into the other one and see you.
We are back from executive session. Thank everybody for their time. We're now looking at resolution number 2026-06-16A. We need a motion to approve that.
Motion?
May I have a second?
Second.
Call for that vote.
Lisa Silver,
Aye.
Trace Walker,
Aye.
Mark Bariak. Is he on mute? You were on mute, Mark.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
There we go. And Ted Del Duke.
Aye. That motion carries. And, hold on. I would like to adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.
Huzzah.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.